All right, so I'm going to restate that we're looking at CSC, which is 2205. That's our course code. And our main course name is Survey of Emerging Technologies. And when we are looking at Survey of Emerging Technologies, we're going to look at the representation of these advanced technologies in various fields. And we're going to look at how these technologies has reshaped the different industries and societies. So the typical technologies that have changed the different industries and the future, we're going to have a great outlook of some of these technologies. But before we dive into understanding probably what emerging technologies really mean by definition, I just want to let you know that we have what we call our module outlines. Remember that from your previous interaction with me, I decided to move away from teaching you in terms of topical lectures to module lectures, where under modules, we will look at it in terms of sub-modules, which help us to cover the complete curriculum within the stipulated semester structure of the 4 months, including the exam. So our module outline, which is going to be our first module today, is going to look at introduction to emerging technologies, which is going to be our main focus today. Hopefully, we will be able to finish. We will finish the introduction to emerging technologies today. Then on Thursday, from around 7 to 9 p.m., we will be able to cover artificial intelligence and machine learning, which will stretch this week and next week. That is when we will be able to look at the artificial intelligence and machine learning. Then we will look at the Internet of Things. We'll look at blockchain technology. We'll look at augmented reality and virtual reality. Then we will look at biotechnology and genetic engineering. Then we were going to look at quantum computing. And of course, we will also focus so much on emerging trends and future outlook, the future outlook of the emerging technologies. Then we will also, that would actually cover most of the syllabus, but we will also look at case studies and practical applications of these emerging technologies. Then we will also wrap it up with one of the most considerations, which is ethical, social, and legal considerations that will guide you as a student who is pursuing courage, who is actually pursuing courage, is the course in computer science. And the beauty here is that since it is more of theory, our discussion is going to be mostly questions and answers, because I also want you to know how to represent yourself, how to get answers, correct answers. And of course, this should be a course unit where most of you should be able to get an A. At least A plus, B plus, or B. I believe that if you put your target at 70, this is going to be something that is, we normally call them point boosters. So this is going to scale up your cumulative grade point average if you perform it very well. So it's going to be a simple course because it's not difficult. There's nothing technical, unless there are some few things that probably I might encourage you when we look at especially unit 9, which is a submodule on case studies and practical applications of emerging technologies. And then quantum computing, we basically talk about it because but the practical aspect will help you also guide you. So what is it that we're going to focus on? when we are so much interested into emerging technologies. So when you look at our course description, you guys would forgive me of the title. This title here, it's more, I'll have to change this from the note side. I sent it to you. But basically, this is basically supposed to be, this word here, course description, was supposed to be on top. I just edited my slide for CSS. That's why, just forgive me, this needs to be changed. Okay, basically the course descriptions on emerging technologies will aim to provide students with comprehensive understanding of latest advancements in technology and their potential impact on various industries. And students will be able to look at the cutting edge innovations such as artificial intelligence. You're going to look at AI, blockchain, Internet of Things, which is IoT, a common thing of these days, augmented reality, virtual reality, biotechnology, and many others. So throughout our lecture, we will be able to have a guided discussion. I think people are putting something in the chat. Okay. So throughout our lecture, we will be able to have basically discussion, case studies, and hands-on activities. So I will try as much as possible to allow students to be able to gain insight into the opportunities and challenges which are presented by the emerging technologies. These days, when you're studying computer science, you're not going to study to be maybe a developer or a coder only. You can fit in any field. So I'm going to try to provide that wider opportunity for most of you. So now, the other thing that I want us to focus on is going to be the assessment. How am I going to be assessing the students? I'll pause here a little bit after explaining. Then maybe we will talk about it so that you understand it very well. But literally, assessment is going to be in terms of class participation. Like whenever we are doing any lecture or we're having any lecture and you are participating, once I try to interact with you, I find that you are very competent uh, in understanding the concept of survey of emerging technologies, you are going to get 10 marks. That 10 marks also involves attendance, okay? How you engage in class. Whenever you engage in class, just know that you will always get good marks. Then there's also something which I'm introducing, which we have been doing it most of the time is basically I'm introducing participation and engagement for you to get 10 marks. Then we'll have assignments and quizzes, which is 10. We'll have maybe quizzes and assignment. Assignment may give 5 marks, quizzes may give like 10 marks. So you will have maybe a wide number of quizzes, basically to broaden your understanding into the topic. Then we will also have a project, a final project, which is going to be part of your coursework that will give you 20 marks. When you add that total of 10, 10 plus 20, we should arrive at the 40, which is going to be our coursework marks. Is that okay? Supposed to be which is going to be our coursework marks. Now, we're also going to look at the final exam. Now, for the purposes of you understanding is that the final exam will take the biggest percentage, that is 60. But it will be marked out of 100, then converted back to 60. So there are going to be 10 questions from section A, and out of 10 questions, each question will carry 4 marks. Then in section B, you're going to have 5 questions where you're going to have choices. The section A will be compulsory, where you take the 10 questions. And then section B will be having with an option of picking from any number of your choice. There will be 5 questions, but you will answer 3 questions. And in that way, it will be able to give you 20 marks each. Yeah, so that is the assessment. So I pause here. If there's any question, please ask now. Once you have understood, it's better to understand how I'm going to assess you so that you know how we are going to arrive at the final score. Are we all good with assessment now?
So, a quick one, just in here.
Yeah, yes.
Where does these things of centralized test fall? Because if we are having quizzes and we are having attendance, knock up the 40. So there are these things of enlighten us on that.
So the centralized test will be done, which is basically something we can't avoid because of the institutional program. But just note that the centralized point will fall under assignment and quizzes. The centralized test will basically give you probably 10 marks out of whatever you will be doing. But it will be under the assignment and quizzes. That's going to be the centralized test. We'll have some simple tests that you'll enter and sit for maybe like 3 numbers or 2 questions, but all of them will be compulsory. But we will definitely have it. Is that okay? The whole
That's
idea,
okay. Hope the
Justin,
questions will be manageable.
no, this time round, I want all of you to get better grades. The other semester, I came very late. We had to rush to complete stuff. And still at the end of it all, you've been able to test your capacity. I don't know. I don't think most of you failed. I think most of you got above the retake. That's what I can say. Okay, Justin, let's just try to move forward now. Now that you know, we'll have that kind of a centralized test, but it's kind of a normalcy where like you have to follow the normal institutional program for the centralized test. But this course unit, I'm teaching it solely alone, which is actually better because I'm not sharing it with anyone. And in that way, it means I have the ability to create the flexibility of the course to enrich you with the understanding of emerging technologies and also give you a career path to join, to work as technology, ET specialists, like emerging technology specialists. In some areas, maybe like virtual reality and augmented reality, some bit of AI, just to pick your interest. But of course, you need to keep learning to broaden your understanding. Okay, with all that said, don't forget that there's also another upcoming summer school that is going to happen in Kenya at some university. I'll try to share with you the link. I encourage you to try as much as possible to first try that opportunity so that, of course, I will be there, but I know we might have 1 or 2, 3 people who would be able to go, but it's in June or July for about 3 days. Yeah, I'll try to market this so that we can, I'll be able to meet some of my students there. So let's now move to the next part, which is going to be the final project. Now, the final project, which will take like 20 marks. So here the students will work in teams because I want you to understand the benefits or the power of working in teams as you will work on a project. And this project can be like incorporating AI or AR or VR, AR, which is virtual reality or augmented reality. But I will pick one project that is manageable, that you can do it. Okay. And then also we can now look at the presentation of the project. So you'll be able to come to class, present the project to the class. And then in that way, you get some peer feedback from your fellow friends about the projects you've been doing. Your number is about 14. So we can create 3 groups, a group of, okay, let's have about maybe like four groups or 6. In a group of 3. The earlier you start creating the groups, the better. And I will be able to share the project even much earlier so that you can follow it up easily. Then we're going to also look at what is the benefit of studying survey of emerging technologies. We're going to look at the core aspect is that by the end of this curriculum, you should be able to introduce students to the concept of emerging technologies, which it's my work, and then their significance in today's rapidly evolving world. What is the importance of ET, which is emerging technologies, into today's world, which is evolving so fast? We're going to look at some of the generations like 5G. 5G was launched in Uganda last year, and what are some of the benefits that are coming up there? Then we're also going to look to explore the various emerging technologies and their applications across different sectors, including healthcare, finance, transportation, education, and entertainment. I think one of the things is that we want to see if we could have some of the potential of emerging technologies into our Buy Uganda, Build Uganda strategy of the Kira Motors. So I want to go and visit Kira Motors and see whether they have some emerging technologies in some of the Kayola buses they are building. So that's one of the key areas in transportation that we will try to focus our understanding on. Then we also need to examine the potential benefits and risks associated with the adaptations of emerging technologies. We want to look at what are some of the benefits of having emerging technologies, and then what are the risks that are associated with adoptions of the emerging technologies. Then we're also going to analyze real-world case studies of successful implementation and integration of emerging technologies. So here, we'll basically focus our mind onto the other aspect of looking at the critical thinking and discussions about the ethical, social, and economical implications of emerging technologies. Then we'll also try to equip the students with the knowledge and skills that you really need to help you evaluate, adapt, and leverage emerging technologies in their future careers. So this is basically going to be our core reason why we are studying this course. And this is a driving force for your learning. What is it all about, this course? What will I gain when I study this course? They are all answered in these 6 objectives. Okay, so we're going to begin now with our preamble, which is going to be the background of emerging technologies. So our first submodule is Introduction to Emerging Technologies, which I'm going to be calling it ET most of the time. Now we're going to look at it in this approach that these are just technologies that are evolving, okay? Evolving means that we're looking at it in terms of the future technologies, but some of them we have already attained them, like the 5Gs in Uganda. It's basically, what are some of the benefits of 5G? Faster internet access, better connectivity. There's so many, okay? And then we will also look at the disruptive potentials and ability to reshape some of these industries. So these technologies are typically in their early stages. In some countries, in our country, Uganda here, we could only look at few areas like virtual reality, machine learning, AI. AI is actually basically evolving. People have, I want to see that kind of a group of students coming up with innovations in in AI, in robotics, basically. So that would be some of the good thing that I would wish to see in this class group. Okay, now we're going to also look at, I don't know whether your screen is able to show, but okay, I hope it's showing now. So what I'm going to talk about right now is basically, which is a common thing, which they can ask you, what do you understand by the term emerging technologies, or describe emerging technologies? Of course, emerging technologies is basically a wide range of innovations that have the potential to significantly impact the way we live, work, and interact. So it's basically it basically encompasses a wide range of innovations that have the potential to significantly impact the way we live, work, and interact with other people. So they are mostly found in the areas like AI, which is artificial intelligence. We have what we call blockchain technologies. We have what we call Internet of Things. We also have what we call biotechnology and augmented reality, which is AR. Then we also have what we call the virtual reality. And the beauty is that I studied augmented reality, I studied virtual reality. I also studied interactive design, which deals with tracking, eye tracking, sensors, so many things. And also I did some bit of quantum computing from University of Agder in Norway. So we will try to share some of the experience. I'll try to show you my projects that I did in AR and VR, in virtual reality actually. So I'll even show you the projects I did in actually augmented realities and virtual reality. I'll show you those two projects. Okay, then we're also going to look at what are some of the impacts, the significance of this ET. ET, basically I'm referring to emerging technologies. So the first impact of this, the first significance of this emerging technology is basically to derive innovation by introducing novel solutions to the existing challenges and opening up new possible opportunities in problem solving. We have had a number of people talk about innovations, even at the Ministry of ICT, which is at the campus with us. We have the Ugandans Innovation Hub. That is the Innovation Hub. And which basically what takes place there is basically not only one kind of innovations like software development. That's what I see at the Innovation Hub. But innovations can take place in all aspects, ranging from maybe inventing transistors, any type of innovations, maybe in terms of the renewable energy, like the solar energy, any innovation that can come. But of course, once these innovations come in, like there are electric cars, I see one of the innovations I can talk about confidently. There are this motorcycle that are EV, that are electric. They don't use petrol. I am sure you have heard of it. There's called Water or Go Plus Plus motorcycles. Some of the innovations we are seeing now on the streets of Kampala that are helping to reduce on the pollution. Remember, there's noise pollution, not actually noise, but air pollution, which some of these vehicles and motorcycles emit a lot of what? A lot of carbon that pollutes the air, and it affects the way we live. And I think there's a research area in Makerere, that is AirCo, that is leading, trying to give us the data about the quality of the air that we breathe and take in. So, and I think with the innovations such as the electric motorbikes, they would actually eliminate the air pollution within the city areas. Then you also have what we call the competitive advantage. Like companies and other organizations can also gain competitive edge by staying ahead of their colleagues or their other competitors by adapting into the market. Like now, if I ask you what's trending, everyone probably will tell you what is trending from Twitter, maybe the kind of business that what people really want. Like these days, it is very important for you to apply emerging technologies to help you even promote your business, and then also have drops onto your competitors. Then we also going to have the societal impact, uh, like the potential of some of these technologies to address pressing societal issues, like such as healthcare, environmental sustainability, and economic inequality. The most common thing I can tell you about societal impact with some of these AI technologies is that when you look at areas like health, we have robots actually taking treatments. The robots are able to do dissections and so many other things. If you look at airline reservations or airports, or even restaurants, these days there are so many restaurants that are incorporating the use of robots to do even food delivery, room services are done by robots. And some of this, even like when you look at dispensing machines like drink dispensers, some robots are able even to sell drinks to people. Dealing with drunkards can also be very difficult. You can employ robots, and the robots be able to serve the customers at their own drinking points and joints. Yeah, but of course it has some great impact, like the the job the job. Of course, it creates employment, and on the other side, there's also job displacement. So there's also what we call growth, economic growth, which is going to look at typically what stimulates growth of new industries. So basically, when you look at revenue stream, job opportunities, there are a lot of job opportunities that are coming up. Don't forget that the people who don't move with technology will eventually be replaced by technology, by actually emerging technology itself. Okay. Okay. So we now have the last bit of the significance, which is the global connectivity. So with ET, first of all, it's an enabler, which actually has the greatest opportunity of connecting people across the globe. And it's also one of the things that is groundbreaking when it comes to geographical barriers. And when you look at geographical barriers, I mean, some countries like the US, which still actually makes it so hard for people to get the visa to travel to some of those countries. Like now, you can literally look at some of those countries onto your mobile devices, your tab or your PCs. So that's one of the beauty with some of those emerging technologies. And then also the border lines that are being drawn, that imaginary lines where it's stopping people from having, you could literally tour the whole country on your phone. I think, yeah, I think that could be one of the most easiest thing to do. Just sit on your phone, look at your Google map, and then yeah, you'll be able to navigate the whole of your surrounding using your mobile phone. Then there's also what we call basically that is it. Of course, it gives you connectivity. You have a brother who is out of the country, you're able to connect to your brother. Now let's look at the historical perspectives and evolution of technology. So when we're going to look at things like emerging technology, history is very important here. We need to look at the industrial revolution that took place. If you look at the innovations that have taken shapes into the mobile phones, way back into the days when Steve Jobs was still alive, with the phones, the first iPhone ever created, the smart, I don't know, what iPhone, just iPhone, or iPhone 1, or iPhone 2, 3, in that order, has really shaped. These days we have about iPhone 15, which has really changed the way we communicate. So when you look at early innovations, if you really literally look at the early innovations, people used to communicate using cables. Actually, wireless communication wasn't even there. People were able to communicate using satellites and then kind of a cable that connects one point to another point. Then there are also these technological innovations that have shaped civilization, although there are some parts of Africa which is still far from civilization. They haven't yet reached up to that level of civilization. Like one of the areas is in Serengeti National Park in Tanzania. The Maasai people, the Azabe people, for them, they are still living in the sanctuaries. And I think it's one of the best life ever that people have lived in this world. Then there's also what we call industrial revolution. Industrial revolution basically looks at the 18th and the 19th centuries that brought about some of these changes, like in transportations, in communications. Like now, look, if it wasn't because of the pandemic, some of these emerging technologies, like literally right now we are doing blended learning, which is online. But of course, it wasn't something which is popular. But now I can comfortably, in the comfort of my home, deliver my lecture online just the way I'm doing it to you people, and then you'll be able to attend remotely from wherever you are at your comfort with your flexibility, and be able to follow these lecture notes and even receive the reading materials without me coming and printing the hard copies and we go over it over the time. I think it is one of the most beautiful moments that anyone can enjoy. Then we also have the groundwork of the modern technologies that has also shaped different industries, like transport sectors, healthcare. Yeah, I think even these days with handling data, we're going to look at mass registration of people in Uganda, the national population census, which is taking place this year. And then we're also having the mass identification and registrations of people, which is also going to be done. And we have some of these technologies which will help to capture some of those data and enroll the citizens into the system. So those are some of the revolutions that we are going to experience locally here in Uganda. But now when you look at the digital age or the digital revolutions of the 20th century, now these are your generations. Some of you who are born in the 20th generations are going to enjoy this. And of course, the 20th generation is really, really, really going to go a long way. And some of us, we may not live to the 21st century. I don't know what, let's see what comes out. Yeah. But of course, the 20th century, which will look at basically the rise and digital revolutions, which will be characterized by computer, internet, and then telecommunications. And now one thing that I have to tell you right now is that it is becoming a daily norm that even you could have the best life for yourself by only focusing on one thing. And that one thing can be sitting at the comfort of your home, creating a social media platform, and then start selling some of your products, get free access to information. But of course, there are those ones which are even paying, like TikTok, YouTube, even Twitter have already started paying. Some of those platforms, you could use those platforms to create a significant impact to your community or even yourself. Okay. Then we also look at the current era of innovations. Like nowadays, people are talking so much on AI. Actually, AI has been the talk since 2023. Now we are in 2024. We're still going to hear what is going to be the talk. But of course, when you go and look at one of the events that as a computer science student you shouldn't miss is to look at the, the Google I/O, which happens every year, the WW, is it the Worldwide Developer Conference for Apple, which you shouldn't even miss, and then some of these other exponential talks that takes place with Microsoft. They basically help you to learn more and more and stay informed about what is taking place across different industries and societies. So what is the driving factor or the driving force behind some of these technological innovations? One, there is a lot of money. Like me, all of you know 100% that I work in research industry, that my main role is basically conducting research. And of course, when it comes to research and development, so investment in research and development fuels technological breakthroughs by founding scientific inquiry, experiment, and discovery. So there's a lot of patent discoveries, experiments that people are doing because of research and development. And henceforth, this is the reason why we have some of these emerging technologies being funded. There's also what we call market demand. So market demand for new products, services, and solutions. Of course, I talked about market demand. Entrepreneurs now have to innovate ways to reach to their customers in order to be competitive. Customers do not nowadays want to go to the shop to buy things physically. A lot of people now sit at the comfort of their home and then order for whatever they want. If I want chicken right now, I could just go to my app and get chicken from Cafe Javas or CJ's. So those are some of the breakthroughs that are coming in. Then there's also what we have as environment. One of the biggest factor is the climate change that is driving a lot of innovations in shaping the way we are going to protect our properties, in the way we are going to protect our environment, our ethical, our safety, our ethical standard. All these environmental factors are coming up as a result of the policies being set up by the government to play a regulatory part, especially onto the landscapes of providing incentives to protect the different property rights. There's also what we call globalization, which basically it's an idea of facilitating exchange of ideas and talent across the borders. When you talk about the borders, mean beyond the, the national of a country. So basically beyond the, the nation. So that's the most important thing that people are looking at it in terms of borders. Then fostering collaborations and then creating close cross pollinations of uh, innovations on a global scale. So these are some of the things that are really pushing up, that the driving force behind these innovations that are coming up. So then also we have the emerging challenges like climate change. I talked about climate change is one of the most areas that uh, people are throwing in money. You look at the weather is changing these days. If you go out between 11 to around 3 p.m., actually midday, the sun is too hot and it's scorching hot that you can't even walk on it. And you need to even stay indoor because of the climate change, which is a research should tell us that the wind, the waves are being driven to another side. That's why we are not receiving enough rainfall, and that is affecting. So there's a lot of research that is going there. There's also what we call healthcare disparities. Some of the healthcares have really fully uh, advanced to the use of robots because they are very accurate, they are efficient. So there's a hospital which is actually running almost on 90% staff who are robots and 10% human. So that is the kind of the challenges which are coming up. Then there's also what we call urbanization drive, of course, that needs innovations. If you look at an area like in our own country, Uganda, especially when it comes to the road, there's a lot of accident happening. And all this is because of poor infrastructure development and then planning. Basically the roads are not well demarcated, the roads are small, the drivers are reckless on the road, they move at very high speed, they don't follow the lanes are not labeled. So it's really something that if you could use AI like self-driving cars and the roads are well uh, paved, it would be easier to reduce on the rate of accident, which is actually is becoming the biggest threat to the depopulation strategy, which is reducing the number of population. Of course, it shouldn't be famine like they used to say. The depopulation strategy in Africa and is famine. They are going to die. No, people are now trying to wait. People, very few people die because of famine, but nowadays people are dying because of accident, uh, misuse of careless use of the gun, where the gun is in the hands of the wrong people and there's shooting and killing everyone, assassinations everywhere. So those are the depopulation strategies which are happening that is really not good. So forgetting the natural disasters like those things which are planted, the HIV, what, yeah, but those are challenges when we look at this would help solve some of those emerging technologies. Then we also have the technological convergence. The word convergence means you come to one point. So convergence of different technologies, AI, IoT, biotech, all this amplifies their impact and then creates new opportunities for the synergy and innovations that are up there for every individual to pick up. So now, before I wrap up my discussion, uh, literally, this is our first introductory part to our, our introductory part to introduction to emerging technologies. So I'm going to allow us have discussion for maybe 16 minutes and then we can dismiss this lecture. So the discussion questions are going to be basically what are explain the concept of emerging technologies and discuss their significance in today's rapidly evolving world, provide an example of emerging technologies and describe how they are reshaping industries and society. Whenever you see questions like this that ask for so many things, these are kind of my questions I like asking. These are my kind questions that I normally do. So I hope you will take good advantage of them and then try to explore how you answer them. I'll try to guide you how you can respond to them. Then describe the historical perspective and evolution of technology, highlighting key milestones and achievements that have shaped the modern technological landscape. How does the understanding of the historical context of technology help us appreciate the current era of innovation? Identify and discuss the driving forces behind the technological innovations. How do factors such as research and development, market demand, regulatory environment, globalization, and emerging challenges contribute to the advancements of technology? Provide examples to support your arguments. If you find this kind of questions, just know those are my real type of questions. And these questions are likely going to come more on section A. The 10 questions, that's how they are going to be. They are going to be in this format. So I'm opening it up for discussion. I know I've talked, but over to you. You could use those guiding questions to help us carry on with 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 our discussion. So over to you, class. If you could try to make inquiries based on the discussion questions so that I can try to give you an approach of how you can answer them. Yeah. Are we there, or we basically logged in and we're continuing to do what we are supposed to do and you've forgotten about the lecture?
Yeah,
So
all.
I'm going to stop recording so that the recording doesn't so that the recording doesn't so that the recording is not too long.